All right, welcome people. We've got a nice put together event for you guys this evening, and I have been looking forward to this for quite some time, and I am happy that you guys have decided to join. I am going to be doing an Oud discovery with none other than Yoast to Coast, and really looking forward to seeing what today's show yields. So if you hadn't been privy to this before, essentially what I did was I picked out 12 different Oud fragrances and sent some samples over to my brother Yoast to Coast, and today we're going to find out what he thought of them. So I just need to grab my book that I have the codes written down. So as soon as Yoast to Coast checks in, I'm going to run and grab my folder that I got the codes written in. So welcome everybody. I see Notes Punch is in the house. It's good to see you, brother. Mad Asian. I think I saw SF Studio sent SF in the house, and Yoast to Coast has joined us. So I'm going to take questions at the end. We're going to get into the 12 fragrances first, and then we're going to do questions on the end. So let me invite my brother Yoast to Coast onto camera. Let's see here. It's been a while since I've done a live with someone. So hey Yoast, drop a message, drop a comment so I can invite you to the camera. I'm excited, y'all. I'm really excited. I want to see what Brian thought of the fragrances that I sent him. All right, so let's see here. Yoast, as soon as he comes on, I need to run and grab my folder that I had all the codes written down in.
Hey!
What's up, brother?
Good to see you, man.
Same here.
I apologize for the delay on finally getting around to this, but I'm glad we're finally here to talk about it.
It's all good, brother. It's all good. How was your day?
Busy. I'm actually going back up to work after we're finished here to get the rest of the stuff done before moving tomorrow.
All right. Well, I appreciate you taking some time out. I'm not going to take too much of your time. I need to grab my folder that I had the codes written down. So give me one moment.
Absolutely. Take your time. Good to see everybody here. Glad you all joined us tonight. This is exciting. Glad we're finally getting around to this.
All right. I'm back. I am back. I think I need to adjust my camera just a little because it's cutting off right at the head. Actually, no, not that one. All right, that should be a little bit better. All right, can everybody hear myself and Brian? Okay. All right. So, if you're just joining this, this is Brian, Yoast to Coast, and I'm getting some feedback. So I'm only hearing it when I speak. Anyway, so this is Brian, and he was unfamiliar with the note of oud, and I wanted him to be able to experience oud fragrances, and I sent him some oud fragrances for him to try blindly, because I didn't want any names to influence his feelings about these fragrances. So the 12 fragrances, I've got them written down here. Actually, my girl wrote them down for me because I've got terrible writing. And let's kick it off. How did you feel about the fragrances?
Well, like you said, I don't have much experience with oud. I have a couple shave soap. As you know, I'm more of a wet shaver than I am a frag head. Starting to transition a little bit into fragrances. Oud has been kind of on my mysterious, I don't know much, I don't want to kind of figure it out a little bit type of thing. So it was definitely fun. I found out that I definitely enjoy oud, but I definitely found out that it has to be the right mixture of oud with other fragrances. It's funny because now I can pick out oud just from smelling other things, where before I'm like, I guess that's oud, but now I know the note. I know the note. I know when I smell oud. That's exciting. But something I wanted to do, kind of like when I buy a new soap, is I'll open it up and I'll smell it. First thing I do is I smell it, and I want to see what kind of notes I'm picking up without reading a description. Now, granted, with you, I didn't have any description to go off. So I went based off what my nose was telling me. So if you would like me to kind of tell you what, it's hilarious because, I'm reading some of these back, and then I'll smell them on my arm later, and I'm like, it smells nothing like what I smelled like out of the decant.
Yes.
So that was fun for me because I wrote down what I thought I was smelling versus what I actually smelled on my skin. And there again, I want to see how close I am to actually picking out some of the scent notes.
All right. Well, I want to mention that before I forget, the thing about oud is once you get into it, your taste and appreciation is going to change. I guarantee you, if you keep wearing these fragrances, next year, this time, we'll be having a different conversation about the note of oud. So it's one of those things, if you keep wearing it, your taste is going to absolutely change. So
sure, absolutely.
So we had 12 fragrances. I was thinking maybe we could talk about some of the ones you absolutely didn't like yet. Some of the ones that were maybe you didn't like at first, but they changed. And then the ones that were like right out the gate, all the way to the end, you like, and you can see yourself having in your collection.
Sure. Well, if you don't mind, I'm going to go on order based on how I chose the fragrances. I didn't know where to start. So I just was like, you know what? This is day one. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to keep going. So the first one that I used was labeled as CO.
Okay.
And for this one, I picked this one first because upon smelling the decants, I thought I was going to like this one the best. And I started off really liking it, but it seemed the notes that I seemed to like seemed to fade quickly and started to come in waves. Like I would kind of smell it and then it would kind of disappear, but kind of come back. But then after a couple hours later, it honestly turned funky, and I didn't really care for it. But there again, I haven't worn it since day one. So on day one, through the whole day, once it wore off, I was glad it was done. So bottoms, long story short, I did not care for this one.
Okay. This one is carved oud from the house of Tamin.
Okay.
This is a fragrance. It's one of the lighter, safer ouds, if you ask me. It resembles Tom Ford's Oud Wood, which doesn't mean anything to you because you haven't worn it. But
sure.
This is a fragrance. You did say that it wore off. The last time I wore this fragrance to work, true story, at the end of my 10 hours after spraying this, I went into my break room at work to get my lunch bag, and several people were like, oh my God, that smells good. Doesn't he smell good? This fragrance right here. True story.
Yeah, I'm going to have to revisit it now.
True story. All right.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Number two for me, I have the little decants here in order. Number two for me was OB.
OB. Okay. All right. So that was,
you have to bear with me. These are notes that I wrote 2-3 weeks ago. So I'm going based off of what I wrote. I wrote very strong opening, floral hints maybe, powdery, almost feminine. During dry down, I got a very sweet, almost lily-like fragrance. Longevity was crazy and lasted almost 12 hours. I actually somewhat enjoyed this, even though it was very feminine.
All right. I'm glad to hear that. That fragrance is Oud Bouquet.
Okay.
Oud Bouquet. This was a fragrance. So Oud Bouquet is from the House of Lancôme. I only discovered this fragrance last year, and the bottle has a significant dent because I have decanted out of it. People have requested this when I do my sample giveaways. This is the fragrance I smelled and loved at first sniff. It does lean a little feminine. It is a little powdery, but both myself and my fiance enjoy wearing this fragrance. I really enjoyed it. So could you see yourself having this in your collection?
I honestly think I could. I think if I could look past the fact that there's florals and stuff on there, I think if I can just get past that, I would have no problem wearing that. Because like I said, it was one of those where I was sitting there watching TV and I catch a whiff and, oh man, I really like that. So yeah, that was the first one that kind of was like, okay, you've captured my attention. So I like that one. Number 3 for me was PD.
Okay.
Now, what I wrote for this one, it opens up strong oud and heavy citrus, and some light florals, dries down to a dark woody oud, then remains strong. I really enjoyed this one.
Okay, what kind of longevity did you get out of this one?
I didn't write it on here, so I honestly can't tell you unless I wear it again.
All right. This is a rose oud combo from the house of Algabra. Algabra I discovered last year. This is called Poem of Damas. Poem of Damas, if anyone's listening. This is a house out of Turkey. One of my best discoveries last year. Their fragrances last, and their presentation is superb. I don't have the boxes with me at the moment, but there's like art in the back of this bottle. I included this because I really enjoyed this one. It's a beautiful rose oud fragrance that I really enjoy this one.
Next one that I have on my list is OM.
OM, okay.
Upon initial spray, I get heavy fruit, citrus, orange, and maybe some grapefruit, and a touch of oud, picking up very heavy feminine vibes. Probably the heaviest this far, but I actually really love the smell. Vanilla, ? Opening up a lot. So this one here really caught me by surprise.
All right. So this is Oud Mazing. Oud Mazing from the House of Montal. This is one of the fragrances I refer to as a starter oud. For someone just getting into the note of oud, they want something easy to get into. Oud Mazing. So was this a thumbs up or maybe or?
Oh no, it was a thumbs up.
Okay, I'm going to recap real quickly so that if people are kind of watching and taking notes and they want to know what you liked. So Oud Bouquet was a thumbs up. Cloud of Dude was a no. And that's all we've done so far, right? Was Poem of Damas. This one was this one a thumbs up or?
Which one was that labeled as? What did I have that code name?
This was PD.
PD? Yes, I did enjoy that one.
Okay. All right. So what was the next one?
Well, we just finished OM, which I said I really did love the smell of that one. The next one on my list is OI.
All right. Okay. I'm interested to hear what you had to say about this one.
So I said I'm reading verbatim off of what my notes were. I like this one. Don't have much to say about it. I mainly get oud and maybe a small bit of floral, possibly fruit. Not sure at this point. Overall, not bad. Not very complex. Scent projection is outstanding, and so is the scent trail. I could smell it all over the place. And I remember this one. I remember this one particularly because I had to go to work. I had an emergency call at 11 o'clock at night, and I was wearing this. And I remember I had my hand on the steering wheel and my window down, and every time the breeze hit my arm, I was getting huge whiffs of it.
Yes, that is Oud Ispahan.
Okay.
Oud Ispahan from the house of Christian Dior is my holy grail for the note of oud.
Really?
Yeah, it isn't the most complex oud in my collection, but in terms of overall scent profile, I really like this. This was my gateway oud fragrance. This was what got me into oud. And I really like this one. So this is Oud Ispahan. So that was a thumbs up for Oud Ispahan?
Yes, for sure.
All right.
For sure. All right, let's see here. Next I have OV.
OV. All right, let's see here. Okay.
Now this is probably the shortest description based on my notes. I have creamy vanilla and oud. So far this one is okay. Then I recapped and said it doesn't do much for me, and that's all I wrote.
Okay. This is Oud Vanille. So you were right. This is Oud Vanille from the house of Mancera. It's one of my favorites from the house. It's one of my favorite vanillas. This thing gets a lot of compliments, but I understand it's oud, but it's also vanilla. But I wanted to include a range of fragrances just so that you had some different references. So it didn't do it for you. That's totally fine. So that's Oud Vanille from the house of Mancera.
Now, next one that I have on the list is OIN.
Let me see. Okay. All right.
This one I wrote quite a bit.
Okay.
This one opened up very quickly with fruit, cherry or strawberry maybe. As it started drying down, I got a very heavy musk and rose. I normally don't like rose, but if that's what I smell, I am enjoying it. Not picking up a whole lot of oud yet. Picking up oud, but the musk or something is still very stinky. Even though I somewhat enjoy this, I would not wear it as I feel it's too feminine to me.
Okay. This is from the house of Dusita. This is Oud Infinity. It's one of the strongest ouds I included in the set that I sent you.
Okay.
It is very stinky. That stinky note that you're smelling, that's actually oud. There are different grades of oud, and what you're smelling is oud. This fragrance is a love it or hate it in the fragrance community. It's a love it or hate it in the fragrance community. And Studio Scent SF said you have a very good nose, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm actually surprising myself right now. I think you're going to be like, you're not even close.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not looking at the notes, but that's good that you're kind of picking up some notes. So that's awesome. All right.
Now, next on my list, I have RO.
RO?
Yes.
Let's see. Okay. Yep. That is all right. I'm curious to hear what you have to say about this fragrance. This particular fragrance is actually my favorite from this perfume house.
Okay. For RO, I have very woody, a little sweet, maybe cedar wood. Smells like there's another wood in there besides oud. It's very bold, very masculine. Longevity on this one was disappointing. The strong woody notes that I liked upon initial spray seem to dry down pretty quickly and dissipate. That's what I wrote, but overall I did enjoy the fragrance. I just wish the notes that I smelled upon initial spray, I wish would have lasted a little longer.
Yeah, that is consistent with what I've heard about this fragrance. This fragrance is Royal Oud. This is Royal Oud from the House of Creed. My favorite from the house. It is a very light, very light oud. It's perhaps the lightest fragrance that I sent you. So yeah, this is very subtle, and if you were out and about and out in the outdoors, this would probably really disappear. I think if you were in an office setting, Royal Oud would last. Cause you said OR, correct?
I said RO.
Yeah, Royal Oud. Yeah.
Yes.
Royal Oud. All right.
Next on my list, I have DN.
Let's see here. DN. Ooh, yeah. This is a big one.
It's funny. I wrote, upon initial spray, this was an immediate turnoff. I really couldn't place the fragrance other than it would now you're going to laugh at me. It reminds me of A&D ointment. That is literally the only thing that I could replicate the smell and think it smells like A&D ointment to me. Drying down was fairly quickly, picking up slight hints of oud. Scent is becoming more tolerable. Conclusion, I really didn't care for it.
Okay. This is Dead of Night. This is from a company called Strange Love New York. I really like this fragrance, but it is medicinal. It does have a medicinal vibe. If you like Gucci Guilty Absolute and you like that kind of medicinal fragrance, this is something that may tickle your fancy. My girlfriend doesn't like this. She doesn't like this at all, but I really enjoy this fragrance.
What is it about it that you really enjoy?
Just the complexity, how different it is. Of all the ouds that I have pulled for you, there's none of them that smells like this. So for me, as an oud lover, having a novel scent, I really dig, and it's just so complex smelling.
Now, it's funny you mentioned that because there's another one that we're getting ready to get to that I found very similar, and to my nose, found very similar notes, but we'll get to that.
Okay.
The next on my list is OR.
All right. So OR. All right. Okay.
I didn't really write much about this one, but I picked dark, woody, and resinous. I get a cologne vibe, so to speak, and I really enjoyed this one.
Okay, so this fragrance is Oud Royale from the house of Armani Privé. This is their Privé collection. This is also one of the fragrances that started me in the oud journey several years ago, and a huge compliment getter. Huge compliment getter.
I can see that for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely, you mentioned it was kind of cologne-y. It is, of all the ouds that I gave you to smell, this and Royal Oud are probably the safest of the lot. These two
I would agree with you. I would agree.
Yeah. So that's a thumbs up or thumbs down on this one?
Thumbs up. Thumbs up for sure.
Okay.
Second to last on my list is CA.
CA. Oh, okay.
Now, see, this is the one that reminded me of DN. I was picking up very similar stinky notes at first that I didn't think I was going to like. And I remember this one specifically because I had I'm also a musician, and we had a gig outdoors, and I had the decant in my pocket because I knew I had to wear it that day. Put it on, I'm like, oh man, I regret putting this on. It smells terrible. And about 10 minutes later, I'm like, people are like, what is that? I'm like, oh, it's my fragrance. Do you like it? They're like, yeah, it smells really good. I'm like, yeah, I like it a lot. And it actually really grew on me. For this one I wrote, started off really stinky, didn't think I was going to like it, had similarities to the one that I didn't like, but the dry down was fairly quick, and I really started enjoying this one. I think it's probably either number 1 or number 2 out of all 12.
Wow. Well, this is Candy Oud from the house of Roja Dove. It is a beauty. It has incredible performance. It is very different from any of the other ouds in my collection, and I really like this. I included this because I really wanted to give you some diversity in the oud fragrances that I sent you, which is why I included this, and I'm happy that you liked it. This is a beautiful fragrance. This is Candy Oud from the house of Roja Dove.
And the reason I think I like that one so much is because it was kind of risky and outside of my safe wheelhouse, but it was close enough to where I felt confident wearing it. And when it got on my skin and dried down, it really projected and really opened up, and I really enjoyed it. Like I said, initial spray was kind of scary. I'm like, I don't know if I want to be smelling like this, but within 5 or 10 minutes, it was fantastic.
Awesome.
And now we are on to the very last one, which is SU.
All right.
Matter of fact, I'm wearing this one right now.
Okay.
I do like this one too. I just said very heavy oud up front. Can't place what other notes are in there. Possibly some fruit, but I'm not picking up much personally besides oud. But I do like it. I find it to be a very safe fragrance, but I wouldn't call it it wouldn't be one that I would purchase. Out of all the ones we've done, there's been about 3 or 4 that I would actually spend my money on.
All right. This fragrance is called Superbia from the house of Memoirs. It's a rose oud fragrance. It was what my girlfriend wore for New Year's this year, and I really like this one. Like I said, I wanted to include some diversity in the fragrances that I sent you.
I love that. Much appreciated.
Yeah. So this one was a thumbs up, but you wouldn't see yourself wearing it. Correct.
I did enjoy it, but I don't think I would actually go out and purchase it.
That's fair. So what were the ones that were like, hell no? I think we have Carved Oud, Oud Infini. I think you said that was a definite no-go. Dead of Night was another no-go for you, correct?
I don't remember all the names of the fragrances. I'm going based off the code words you still have on here.
So you can tell me the code words.
If I had to pick the ones that I really did not like, my least favorite of all of them was DN. DN was my absolute least favorite.
All right, so that's Dead of Night.
Yes, that was my least favorite of all of them. I think probably the ones that I really, really enjoyed. Let me go back through here real quick. OB was good.
OB?
Yeah, it was good. I probably wouldn't purchase that one. PD, I did enjoy. Would probably purchase that one.
All right, so that's Poem of Damas.
OM, I really, really liked. Even though I was picking up those feminine vibes, I really enjoyed that one and could see myself wearing that.
That's Oud Amazing. Okay.
I didn't care for OI that much because it was the, I'm sorry, no, the OV I didn't care for that much because of the vanilla.
Okay, yeah, I remember you saying that.
I still think one of the most impressive was, let's see.
I think
CA was probably my second favorite between CA and I really liked the RO as well, other than it dissipated very quickly.
okay, so because I thought you didn't like CA. That was the carve, dude. That was the first one we did.
CA was the second to last one I did. That one I had started off really stinky.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that's Candy Oud. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's Candy Oud. Yeah. So CA is Candy Oud. So you like Candy Oud. Okay. So this is what I have so far that you were really, really liking.
Correct. Those three I would definitely spend money on. There was a couple in there that I wouldn't mind buying a sample or wearing occasionally, but I would not actually purchase the full bottle. And then the other ones, even though they're good in their own right, weren't anything that spoke to me that I would purchase.
All right. Well, both of these I know for a fact are sold at Door Prestige in Glendale, which I was recently. And I'm going to have a conversation with him to see if we can get you a discount on either this or either this so that you can have these in your collection. So once again, the fragrances that Brian really, really enjoyed were Poem of Damas from the House of Algabra. He also enjoyed Oud Mazing from the House of Montal. And he also enjoyed Candy Oud from the House of Roja Dove. I will encourage you to keep wearing what you have left of the sample. Give it some time and go back to them. I'm pretty certain that your relationship with Oud is going to change with time. You know,
I agree. And that's the thing too, even with the wet shaving, there's, fragrances behind me that I've put on and did not care for very much, but then I've revisited a month or two later and said, what's wrong with me? This is fantastic. But I think you kind of have to appreciate or, develop an appreciation for it, because sometimes you don't really know what you're getting into until it's on your skin, until you start really seeing how it develops. So like I said, some of these that may have turned me off to begin with, I may end up enjoying later on.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very possible, especially with a note such as Oud. It's becoming more mainstream here in the U.S., but 10 years ago, I wasn't really wearing fragrances that contained Oud. So it's definitely what they say is a learning curve, but it's a growth curve with Oud. So I really, really appreciate you taking the time to try these out and to really write down your thoughts. That takes a great deal of effort, and I'm glad that you are now able to appreciate Oud, and we'll get you one of these fragrances in your collection.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I appreciate you giving me the chance to check these out, taking your time out to send me the samples, and giving me the chance to show people what I like. So this has been fun for me. I hope it's been fun for you, and I'd like to collaborate with you again in the future.
Yes, sir. We definitely will. Well, I'm going to cut you loose, Brian, because I know you have to get back to work.
Yes, sir.
And I'll stick around and answer questions from our audience. So, hey, thanks a lot, Brian.
I appreciate it, buddy. Anytime, Glenn. Have a good night.
All right, good night. All right, bye-bye. All right, so I'm going to stick around for a little while longer and answer questions. I know I saw a couple of questions flashing by. I couldn't really answer those questions at the time because we were trying to get through the 12 fragrances that Brian tried out. And so if you have questions, I would definitely answer your questions now. I'm going to scroll back. And thank you guys for sticking around. Thank you guys for checking out this segment. This is something that I started doing a couple of months ago. This is only the second one because it takes a little time to, first kind of figure out, what you want to explore. And then I have to go, figure out which fragrances that I want to create samples to really give a range within that particular family or that particular note. Then I have to send them off. Then they got to wear them. So, if somebody already have fragrances in their collection, then they have to get these samples within the mix. And then we have to circle back up. So it definitely takes a little bit of effort. And I certainly appreciate Brian doing so. I think it was a good exercise for him. So I'm going to scroll to the bottom. If you guys got questions, drop the questions. And let's see here. Christian, Paul, what's going on? Let's see. Question here from Irresistible Parfums. Is Candy Oud similar to Saudi Arabia? I have not smelled Saudi Arabia, so I don't know what that one smells like. Little known fact, this was actually my first Rouge Dove. This is my first Rouge Dove fragrance. And yeah, this is amazing fragrance. It's actually not very heavy oud. There's some flaws in here, but this is very complex beast right here. So Rouge Dove Candy Oud. I would never wear this to work. It's such a beast of a fragrance. Let's see here. JL marks that he needs Brian's address so that he could convince him that carved oud is good. You know, carved oud, I really enjoy carved oud. This is like an alternative to Tom Ford's oud wood. And maybe with time it would grow on him, you know. Why no Black Afghano? I actually don't consider Black Afghano to be a heavy oud fragrance in the whole scheme of things. There's probably oud in there, but it's not a heavy oud fragrance, not in the way these fragrances are. So I didn't include Black Afghano. Plus, I probably have another 20 oud fragrances that I couldn't include. I wanted to keep the list to 12 fragrances, and couldn't include all the ones that I really contain oud. How do you like Mugler? I have a couple. I have the original Angel for men, and I think I have Pure Malt. And JL Mark, I agree. Brian did excellent. He definitely dedicated himself to the process, and that's what I really admired. So, you know, if you guys know someone that wants to explore a particular note, or if you yourself watching this and you're like, you know what, Mr. Cologne, I want to check out X, Y, and Z, you know, send me a DM and let's get something going so we can do the same thing with you, because I love being able to share and also to give people the chance to experience some of the things that I'm also experiencing. So send me a DM. Don't be shy. Let's see here. Mugler Fly Away is dope. I have not smelled that one. So that is new to me. So I think I'm going to do a photo with these fragrances, and so we can list the ones that Brian liked. So what's going on, Mr. Solano? My favorite Bond scent, Bleecker Street. I've had a few bottles of Bleecker Street in my collection. I'm currently out of Bleecker Street, but it's a beautiful fragrance. Beautiful fragrance. And it's funny, earlier this week, I wore this fragrance here. This is a new fragrance to me. This is Obsidian from the House of Revere. And someone was like, are you wearing Bleecker Street? My favorite oud, yes, God, I'm really liking this Obsidian. My favorite oud fragrance, wow. That's kind of tough. I really like Oud Ispahan, but Oud Ispahan is in a different class. For example, Oud Ispahan is a different class than Oud Infini. They're totally different in scent profile. They're both dominant oud fragrances, but just different classes. So even within the family of oud, there are different style of oud fragrances. So let's see here. Carolyn, let's see. I'm late to the party. Will you be archiving this? Yes, Carolyn. As long as Instagram doesn't give me any glitches, I plan on archiving this. And I actually plan on pulling this video and putting it on YouTube as well. Favorite vanilla scent. My favorite vanilla scent is Lyra from the House of Zerjoff. Casamarati collection. That's my favorite vanilla. But I've got a lot of vanilla fragrances. But Lyra has stood the test of time. It's an incredible fragrance. Leather Hog joined. Leather Hog was today's hashtag sample winner. And I do sample giveaways, and all you have to do is use my hashtag MrCologne76. And occasionally, once or twice a week, I just pull a person at random and Leather Hog was today's winner. And I'm going to try to mix in some of the fragrances that, was recently added to my collection. Today I wore this number right here from the House of Montal. This is the Intense Cafe, the Extreme, Ristretto Intense Cafe. All right. So this is like the upgrade, if you will, to Intense Cafe. I wore this today, and this thing, oh my God, I love Intense Cafe, but this right here was like Intense Cafe on steroids. And I'm going to try to get some of this into the mix. It's funny. No, they're different. Let's see here. For me, the best oud fragrance is Musk Oud by Roja. This is from Safe Wap Perfumery. Musk Oud, I'm not familiar with. Amber Oud, I really, really love from Roja Dove. I hope to own that one day. So I see Juan 956 is in the house, and Stacy Price, welcome. Welcome. If you guys have questions, we just got done with the Oud Discovery session with Yoast the Coast. And now I'm just taking a couple of questions before I log out, because I have to go take a picture of all those fragrances that we had on the segment earlier. I think I may do that tomorrow, to be honest. It's kind of late already, and I've got to have dinner here soon. So I'm going to take questions for another 3 minutes, and then I'm going to get going. So I want to thank you guys again for joining. It really means a lot to me, the support that the fragrance community has continued to bestow on me throughout this journey. And, I continually strive to create content, to create opportunities that really enrich your fragrance journey as well. So I really do appreciate each and every one of y'all. I say that all the time, and I really, truly mean it. What's going on, D-Self 1976? It's always good to see another 76 in the house. Welcome. So if there aren't any questions, what's happening with Scent-Provoking Sunday? That's a really good question, Carolyn. That's a really good question. Scent-Provoking Sunday, I really do want to bring back. But I need a few more people to help moderate Scent-Provoking Sunday. I did Scent-Provoking Sunday for over a full year, and, sacrificed a lot of Sundays, a lot of Mondays, portions of Saturdays in the production of that show, because it's, I have to come up with with the question. I have to record it, create that video, post it, engage, respond, winners, mailing off packages. So I invested a lot of time into that show, and the engagement was steadily declining. And I had first switched to every other weekend, and then one weekend I was like, you know what, I'm going to take a break from Scent-Provoking Sunday. I do want to bring it back. I've got perfume houses that, want to be involved with Scent-Provoking Sunday, but I really need more of a crew to help moderate the show. It's legitimately fragrant community biggest conversation. I can safely say that Scent-Provoking Sunday is the fragrance community, biggest perfume conversation. Thanks to you guys. You're the guys that made it happen, and I would love to bring it back. But I'll send you a DM, Carol, and I think you would be excellent. You have excellent temperament and knowledge and background to be able to help moderate Scent-Provoking Sunday. But it's something that you have to really, really want. I had Mason Parfum Sec was instrumental in helping me towards the last several months of Scent-Provoking Sunday. She was really, really instrumental, but even that wasn't enough to really keep the show going. I need a crew of people. So I've got some ideas. And because I'm always thinking. So I've got some ideas, and I think we can bring it back. So I'll send you a DM. Great question. Any other questions, guys, about the stuff behind me? Anything about what's to come? I can tell you that I'm going to finally start putting videos on in YouTube. I have finally started getting videos together. I did several interviews at Exxon's, and I'm going to start bringing those onto YouTube. So I'm finally getting my YouTube channel up and running. I'm going to actually start doing reviews and getting that on, on YouTube as well. Let's see here. Carolyn, I spoke to Lily. She's well. Her in-laws are not doing so well at the moment. So Mason Parfum Sec has taken some time to, help out with her in-laws. So I spoke to her about 2 or 3 weeks ago. So she is fine, but the family is definitely under a little bit of strain right now. So that's why we haven't seen Lily online. It's funny, when people go missing from the fragrance community, we reach out. Recently I reached out to Live Through Lenses because I hadn't seen her on, and she had just been busy. And then Parfum Co, I hadn't been seeing them on, and I reached out and he was just busy. So I like the fact that we are still a close-knit group, even though we're millions of miles away and we all have different things going on besides our fragrance collections. So thank you for asking. When I speak with her, I will tell her that you asked, Carolyn. Thank you. Well, y'all, I'm going to get going. This was fun. This was a lot of fun. And I hope to do the next one soon. Thank you guys for joining. Good night.